Hello, welcome to part 2. Today we're going to look at how to crochet the stem and the leaves of this little flower that's done in Irish crochet. Part 1 we had a look at how to get the padding cord ready. So if you're not quite sure about that, please refer to part 1, and then we start by just getting the yarn or the thread ready and laying the padding cord over the thread on our hand and just inserting your hook through the cord like so. Yarn over, pull through and do a chain, and then start to work over your padding cord. So for the stem we need a total of 28 double crochets over the cord. So once you've reached the 28, we can look at how we then start to shape the leaf. Just nudge these down so they sit neatly together. Okay, so I'll see you when you reach the 28th stitch. Okay, so we've done 28, and in the last stitch you could either put a tiny little piece of thread or you could pop a stitch marker. Thankfully, because we're using size 10 thread, the little stitch marker actually fits quite well. Now, because we need these stitches, the tops of the stitches, to face to the left, we need to twist them to the left like so while we're still holding on to the cord. And then to start the leaf, we go over the cord alone again 23 times. So 1. This area is a little bit tricky, so we've done 2, 3, 4. So they'll lay in the opposite direction to these stitches, as you can see, and they're just twisted here. Okay, so we carry on now and do a total of 23. So when you've reached 23, I'll meet you there. So when you've done the 23, you need to leave the cord, turn your work, and do a double crochet into, sorry, no, you don't. You do 2 chains, 1, 2, and then you do a double crochet, missing the first 2 stitches. So you go into the next one and do a double crochet. Then you do 2 chains, skip 2 or miss 2, and then another, well, a treble this time, double crochet in US terminology. 2 chains, miss 2, 1, 2, treble in the next one. So it's 2 chains, miss 2, a treble. And you do that a total of 5 times. So we've done 1, 2, 3, we need another 2. 2 chains, miss 2, treble in the next one. 2 chains, miss 2, treble in the next one, and then again 2 chains. But we're now at the end, so we're going to do, when I say end, the leaf, we do just 1 double into the next stitch after skipping 2, and that's what it should look like. So you have a little 2 chain space at this end and at each end, and then your 5 treble spaces in between. Now turn the work, and into each of these spaces do 3 double crochets in the UK, single in US terminology. 2, 3, straight into the space, over the chains, 3 into each one. Okay, so I'll meet you here at the tip of the leaf in a few secs. So we're almost at the tip. We've just got the final 2 chain space, which can be a little bit difficult to identify and it's easy to miss, but if you just look at your double crochet here, the 2 little legs, just pop your hook to the left and you'll find you're in that space. And then another 3 double crochets in there. And then we're going to pick up the cord again and crochet over that, a double crochet twice, then turn your work and still working over the cord. In the very first stitch here, do a double crochet over the cord, and you're going to go into each stitch all the way down this leaf. Make sure you go underneath both loops of the top of the stitch. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll leave you to get on with that and I'll meet you when we get down to about here. Okay, so we've done our double crochets over the cord all the way down. Now you need to pass your cord underneath your work like so, and we're going to be working over the cord this way down the leaf now. But first of all, we just need to do 1 little slip stitch over the cord and just over this little part of the leaf stem here. So just manipulate it and yarn over, pull through, and then, sorry it's not so clear, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through to complete your slip stitch. There we go. And then in the very first stitch you made here, just there, we need to do a double crochet. Again over the cord. Okay, now we're ready to work some trebles, which are double crochets in the US terminology. So we do 4 over the cord alone. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Just make sure those are nicely placed together, and now you need to skip 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and into this 5th space here, well, the 5th stitch there, you do a double crochet. Again, that's a single in the US. Just check, you might need to just manipulate the cord slightly and those stitches so it's all lying nicely. There we are. So you've created a little shell, and this shell edging will go all the way around the leaf, and it's the same all the way around. You do 4 trebles over your cord alone, you miss 4 stitches, into the next stitch you do a double crochet. So I'll do this once more and then I'll meet you at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just slide those so they go together a little better. And then, look, you went in there last time, so it's now 1, 2, 3, 4. So you go into the next space, just there. Again, making sure you're going over your cord. With a double crochet, and again just have a little look and you can check your work to see it's doing quite nicely. Okay, so you do that all the way around, over your cord, your 4 trebles, and then your double crochet, missing 4 stitches in between. Okay, so I'll meet you when you reach here. If you find you have to skip fewer to get them in, don't worry. As long as you skip a minimum of 3, then you'll find your work will lay quite nicely. Just at this tip here, just take care when you get to this little bit. That may count as 2 stitches there. Okay, so I'll see you when you reach this part here. So this is what it should look roughly like. I had to miss a few less stitches here, so I've probably squeezed in an extra little shell, and that's how it looks. Okay, so now we're down at the bottom of the stem. This is where just have a little fiddle about, because don't forget we said that the stem, the leaves, the tops of the stitches need to face this way, and this leaf needs to face the right way, and we need to crochet over the cord here and over 2 of the leaf stem stitches there, and then we're going to crochet up the cord here towards the flower. So that's great. Those stitches are now facing the right way. They're going to the left. We can crochet into the little stitches just there, and our leaf is the right way up. Okay, so what we'll do now, pick up the work again. Let's just take the cord up there. Just find the working thread. I think it's just a case of unraveling slide. There we go. Okay, so now we're ready to do into our stitches here. Double crochet over the cord, and again a double crochet. Just have a little look here. I think I've got an extra stitch, but that does not matter at all. In fact, don't despair if you have an extra stitch on a stem or on a leaf or whatever, because you can just carry on. That will just form part of the stem anyway, the bottom of the stem. Okay, so now pass this petal away from you so the back is facing you, and just work over the cord for the top of the stem. And for this we need to do 50 double crochets. So that's 3. So just go ahead and do your 50 double crochets, and I'll meet you at the top of the stem. Okay, so completed the 50. They're all nicely sitting next to each other, and now you just turn your work, and still over the cord you do perhaps I'll just straighten that out a little first. Just find your first stitch, which is just there, and again over the cord do a double crochet, and then in the next stitch over the cord double crochet. You do this for 44 stitches all the way down the stem, and I'll meet you when you get to the 44th stitch. Okay, this is how they'll look. So once you've actually finished the 44 stitches, just pop the work down for the top of the stem and just manipulate the cord and the stitches so it curves nicely round, like so. Okay, so now we've got our little leaf stem here. Let's get this all the right way round. That one goes that way. These come across this way. So what we need to do now is make another leaf going up here exactly the same way as we made this leaf here. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. I'll just start you off, but then if you could rewind the video on how to make this leaf, you make it exactly the same way. So just for starting off here, if you just do your 23 single crochets in the US, double crochets in the UK, over the cord alone, exactly as you did with your first leaf. And you just follow the instructions exactly the same way. Okay, so I shall see you when you've completed the second leaf, just as you would do the first. So hopefully you've finished your second leaf, and we're now going to have a look at how to crochet over this tiny little bit of the leaf stem along these stitches here, and then over this leaf stem, and then down all the double crochets on that side. can now remove this little stitch marker. Okay, so we're going to be doing just double crochets from now on over our work, and we can see that is all the right way now. So we're just going to do into this leaf stem here, over the cord still, a double crochet, and I'm sure there may have been, I might have skipped one there. No, it's absolutely fine. What we can do now is go straight into the next double crochet of the stem. Work just along in each one, over the cord. I think I missed a strand of cord there. I'll just go back. There we go. Do our little stitches in. Just keep periodically checking that you are, yes, the leaves the right way round there, and it's the right way round here. Okay, so we can again do another one in here. It's just a case of always making sure your leaf is actually facing the right way, and just manipulating the cord and the little stitches. So now we're at the base of this leaf stem here. So I think, yes, we've got a stitch in there, so we can actually jump over that and into the next stitch there, over the cord again with a double crochet. And then continue down the stem to the end. Okay, so I'll meet you when we get to the end of the stem, but first of all, let's just have a quick look at how this has turned out. I think it's that's lovely. Right, see you in a few minutes. So right at the bottom now of the stem, so to the next to last stitch, a double crochet, and then to this very last one, I'm going to do a slip stitch, and then I'm going to slip stitch over the cord as well, and the yarn, I'll just snip that little there and then just pull through. Okay, now we'll just have a little look at how it's looking. So that will stay when you sew it. I'll just pop that on for now. And then these are the little leaves here. Okay, so what we find here now is this is actually curved the wrong way. If you look at the illustration, you can see that it needs to curve. It's almost like a very open S shape. So we need to go like this. Now, in order to make this curve shorter, you just pull the cord and maneuver or manipulate these stitches over it. And this is just doing this side, so it's leaving the other side as it was, and these are just getting shorter. Okay, and you can see now that's made it curve that way, but it's a little bit bumpy, so all you do is you just manipulate it with your fingers and you'll find they'll flatten out. Okay, so that's how you manipulate the cord. Now, as for weaving in the ends of your cord, I just prefer, when I'm working with the size 10 especially, I'll just weave them in individually. I know it's a little bit time consuming, but at least it's neat when you've finished. So I'll just show you one, how I will do it. So I'll get it so the back of the work is facing me, and then just do, I can zoom in slightly. Just do a little stitch to secure it there, and then where are we here? Yeah, just going underneath some of these stitches and hiding the thread. Just pull it gently so you don't take the shape away, and then perhaps just go back on yourself once, again hiding underneath. Just gently, and then snipping that as close as you can to your work. So if you do that with each of them, it will hide them nicely. Okay, so that's it for today. We've done quite a lot of work, and on the next video we'll be looking at how to do the central little frilled circular motif. Let's have a little look here. There we are. Yes, so making these little circles in Irish crochet, it's a very common thing. They're used in a lot of work. This is a padded ring, and then it's got a little frill round the edge, and that's sewn on after you've made your flower. So we'll be doing that next, and the one after we'll do the flower. Okay, so look forward to seeing you next time, and thank you so much for watching.